yes. Late in the week, y'all. Kids and wives and 9 to 5s, but we are married to the games. I figure as long as we get in on Saturday, then we can't be a week late, considering Sunday is the first day of the week, right?
Right.
That's right.
That's what I'm going with. Sorry we're so late, you guys. Of course, we had big announcements this week, and we slacked on y'all. We apologize. We're so sorry. But we're glad to be here, glad to be talking with you guys. Your boy, Gabe Patillo, with Timothy Hall and Tim Router, always and of course. So quickly, before we get into all this stuff, Hall, week, fast.
Very busy. Done.
Router, same question.
Same answer. Very busy. Done.
Mine, busy, beat Sleeping Dogs. Done.
Nice.
Oh, yeah. I beat Dishonored. Done.
Yep.
Redone.
Beat Dead Space 2. Done.
Oh, you beat Dead Space 2 and you guys beat Dishonored. That's freaking awesome. We all beat a game this week. That feels nice.
It's a Christmas miracle.
It really is. Golly, Christmas in February.
Hey, real quick, what are we all jumping on next as far as games?
I've started Arkham City.
Awesome.
You know what? I think I may start Arkham Asylum and then do Arkham City so I can kind of catch up to Gabe. But then again, Gabe will have Arkham City done before I get past the title screen of Arkham Asylum. So you know
that's
how it
very
goes.
True. I love Arkham City, man.
I'm kind of mad that I started it.
No, don't be mad.
Really?
No, it's great. It's great. It's great. It's great. You'll really like it. I did most of just the main mission stuff. There's so many like Riddler trophies you can get, and there's a few side quest stuff, and I just kind of stuck to the story. But man, it's a great game. You'll love it. It's fun.
I got you.
I just love that you could beat down fools. The combat's awesome in it. I mean, he's like flipping and flying and punching and kicking, and just fools are dropping like flies. It's awesome.
Oh, it's cool.
There you go.
Okay, so you're playing Arkham City. Hall, you're going to play Asylum then?
Probably Arkham Asylum and then Arkham City. I don't know. Excuse me. I got other stuff to go. I got other stuff to play. I mean, obviously, kids and wives are 9 to 5, so you can only get so much done. But
yeah,
exactly
I got to get something done before Tomb Raider comes out.
Exactly.
And then, yeah, I mean, and I thought about going and renting Crysis 3 because I really like to give it more of an in-depth try. I think I could probably beat it in a day or two, so
there you go.
I think I'd like to go grab that.
Yeah, if you can do it, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah,
yeah.
I'm actually taking a break from Dead Space because honestly, like for me, just being more of the newbie to the gaming world, Dead Space 2 was tough, man. I've never been more frustrated in a game.
That game wore you out, boy.
It really did. Like I almost threw my controller a few times on a couple levels, and it's just like these necromorphs come at you from all angles, and the next thing you know, I'm being beheaded, and I'm like, great. Let's start over. So, I mean, I loved it. It was a great game, but it is tough. And so I'm taking a break, and I'm actually I downloaded Dragonborn, Skyrim Dragonborn, because I got that half off because it came out this past week, and I'm playing that. And I started this morning, and I'm like, I'm back into my old Skyrim routines of doing like all the side missions, and I haven't even touched the main mission. So I made an executive decision to say, I've got too many games to play. We're just main missioning it for now, and then I'll go back and do some side stuff later.
Yeah.
So far, so good, man. I love it. It's nice to get back into the Skyrim swing of things, and then I'll probably go back to Dead Space 3.
There you go. Hall, talk to us a little bit about Dishonored.
Man, that game... Well, actually, before I even say that, I'm going to preface this by saying we're probably going to talk over each other a little bit more than often, just because we're doing the show a little bit different this week. Doing it as a conference call, if you will.
Exactly. I'm in Chicago.
Yeah, I mean we are everywhere, but Dishonored
make it work, baby.
That's right.
Dishonored gets crazy, man. Like the thing about the game, and I'd said this last week, is that it encourages you to use. I think I kind of feel like it encourages you to kill people, basically.
Right.
Like in the game, it encourages you to take out enemies. So you're taking out dudes left and right. And the thing about it is, like, my playthrough, like, probably about 90% of the time I was just taking dudes out. And then like 10% of the time I would try to be stealthy and, knock them out or whatever, and then like stash their body away so nobody saw them or anything. But yeah, like when you get towards the end of that game, and they kind of told you this in the review, but the more people that you take out, the darker the ending gets, and it gets really dark at the end.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah,
Really? Like uncomfortably dark, or just like still fun dark?
Well, I probably got the worst ending, so it gets pretty depressing, especially if you get invested in the story at all. It takes one turn that I think is a mandatory turn, kind of, for the story. At first, I was thinking, "Oh crap, this story went to garbage because I, was going through and killing everybody." But I think it takes like a mandatory turn, and then it just gives you some different options, and then you get mocked for if you've been playing the game where you've been just like mowing dudes down. You get kind of mocked if you have any mercy at the end. And that's the thing, is I kind of had a few merciful moments, and then basically the overarching guy that gives you these powers and stuff, he starts mocking you. He's like, "I can't believe you. You're ridiculous. Like you would slaughter all these people, and then you let this one guy go or something." It's not really a spoiler, but basically you have to play the game. You have to go down the one path. If you start to do things that are outside of the path, it's kind of like, it doesn't really fit the story. You've got to just go through and mow dudes down if you've done it. So, and yeah, the ending, like I said, I accomplished what I wanted to at the end. They pretty much give you the option of accomplishing your goal, but basically, since I had, as I said, just took out a lot of guys along the way. The ending was really dark, even though I had accomplished the goal that I was going for. So,
gotcha.
There you go. But you enjoyed it. You liked it.
Yeah.
You finished it. You felt like, nice, cool.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm gonna watch the other endings on YouTube or something just to kind of see what they were, because there's no way I'm gonna be able to play through that game without killing anybody. I mean, it literally is just you'll kill people on accident. So
I bet.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah, all over the place. So
either way, there's murder. So you can't beat it.
Murder is on the menu.
There you go.
Awesome.
Well, I gotta say, in 1979, there's this guy named Frank E. Peterson Jr., and he was the first black general in the Marine Corps. Happy Black History Month!
Yeah, buddy. I love it.
I knew where you were going with that.
Yeah, we all knew where you were going with that.
I'm gonna get it in there.
That's awesome.
Sleeping Dogs was good. I was really nervous about jumping back into it because, I didn't really remember the buttons. I didn't know what I was doing no more, or what like the point was. And but it was like easier to fall back into than I thought. And then I was like, crap, now I got like this whole game ahead of me. And I played more of it than I had thought from Redbox when I got it when it first came out. Ending was good. It was solid. The fighting in there is good. I think it's a good all around game. I think that some of the twists and turns might be a little far fetched at times, but you got to do that sometimes, I think, to try to keep things interesting or something. But it's a really good game. I would still tell people to go play it. I don't know if it's got a multiplayer or anything like that. Like, I've told you guys I'm out here on the road. I don't really do that. So I might put it on eBay or something like that. Or I don't know. Maybe we'll start like a Married to the Games, used games. Married to the used games.
That's a great idea.
Hey, give these games away to people or something. I don't know.
Hey, I'll borrow that though.
But,
before you do that.
Yo, you want to borrow it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, sir. We'll do like a swap meet.
Exactly. Just add it to my list of things to play. But yeah, that was actually one of them that I really wanted to play. A lot of people are loving that game, and it was kind of a sleeper game when it came to sales, but when it came to, the enjoyment of the game, a lot of people love that game. So yeah, it
was a good game.
Definitely want to play it.
Real good game. Router, I mean, Hall, do you want to, I mean, no, Router. Do you want to hit some things before we dive into this
Yeah.
Sony press conference? Is there any releases
Yeah, there's
that
really
you had that you want to talk about?
not a whole lot to speak of this week. A lot of just normally when I do new releases, I try and do cross-platform releases. On a lot of them, there's just a couple PC games and a few Vita or DS games and that kind of stuff. So I'm going to say nothing to really speak of. But if you're a PC gamer or a Vita gamer, there's definitely a few things, but nothing new and huge and crazy. As far as top-selling games of the previous week, man, Dead Space 3 came in at number 1. So
There you go.
They were concerned about the
Makes
sales
sense.
of that too, or at least
Yeah,
I thought
I
they
mean,
were concerned.
They did 200.
Well, number one might not mean too much, considering it wasn't up against anything.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's
true.
true.
I mean, it actually had a good release slot, which was pretty decent because I know they pushed it back a little bit, and I think that was actually a smart move because they were pretty much the main release for that week. So that's good. I mean, the Xbox 360 version did 247,000. The PS3 version did 137,000 in its first week. That's units. That's not
Wow.
dollars. That's in units. So that's good, man.
Yeah.
So, and then Sly Cooper, man, came in at number 4 with Thieves in Time for PS3 with 88,000 units. So, a bunch of you old Sly Cooper fans came through.
Is 2 and 3 the regular Black Ops and all that?
Actually, they were bumped down to 5 and 6.
Oh.
Call of Duty, Call of Duty is 5 and 6 for Xbox and PS3. Halo 4 went down to 8. Far Cry is at 7 for the 360.
I got you.
Yes.
Okay.
So finally, there's a changing of the guards. Oh, and here's an interesting one. Number 2 was Fire Emblem Kakusei for the 3DS. Never heard of it. Strategy game, but 169,000 units and came in at number 2.
Look at that. I
Hey,
love
That's,
it.
There you go.
That's crazy especially for a 3DS.
Power to the
game,
handheld.
man.
For a 3DS game to beat the Dead Space PS3 units by about 30,000 units. That's pretty impressive.
That is impressive.
That's really good. That's great.
Yeah.
Paul, did you have something you wanted to jump into before this press conference talk?
Man, yeah, not as far as releases are concerned. I think everything else, man. This was a slow news week, just because PlayStation kind of owned the week. So
Yep.
Vanquish
Microsoft,
is
we're
on
next.
PS Plus. That's one thing, I guess.
The what?
Vanquish is free on PS Plus, so that's awesome.
Oh, yeah. You said you were downloading that.
Yeah, what was that's kind of what killed the first attempt at doing the show. So
Nice.
The only thing I have, and we haven't talked about it, I don't think, but I can see myself getting one if I come into a bunch of money. Google Glass released a new commercial,
Oh, yeah.
and that thing looks dope to me. And I know it's not going to work as well, of course, as they do in the commercials, but it's not a gaming thing, but it's just kind of futuristic feeling. And if everything goes according to plan and goes perfect, it could be a lifestyle thing.
Dude,
So
I'm
I was
going to
like,
be
man, I could bring that up.
I'm going to be tripping over people left and right because I'll be so distracted with what's in my eyes that I'm going to run into fools and probably get myself killed.
See, it's okay for Timothy Hall already has glasses,
Right.
so he can just kind of like boop on top of these jokers.
Yep.
yeah, that would
I
be
don't wear
cool.
glasses. Rowdy, you don't wear glasses, right?
No, I don't wear glasses.
Prescription Google glasses.
That's
They're
what they need to
coming.
do. Prescription Google glasses. What do you guys think? Have you guys looked at that much, or am I just uber
I mean, I've
nerd
looked at it a
and
little
looked
bit,
up a bunch of
but
stuff?
it's one of those 10-year plan things.
Yeah,
like,
it's going to take a while. I've
Yeah.
looked at it and gone like, that's really cool, but it's going to totally take a while. It's not anything
Yeah,
that's going to
in
happen
10
overnight.
in 10 years we'll look at it and it'll be probably a commonplace thing, but right now it's hard for us to see it being viable. Kind of like how PDAs were like only for business when they first came out. Now everybody pretty much has a PDA in their pocket because they all got smartphones.
Yep.
So
Right.
that's exactly what it's going to be.
Would you guys get one?
The price is right, baby.
It'll in 10
I mean,
years it'll be $99 and lots of people will have them.
But I'm talking about before that.
Nah,
No.
probably not. I probably won't unless there's something that's in there that I absolutely have to have, which I kind of doubt. I mean, I think right now it's more of a cool factor thing, but when it
Yeah.
starts getting into practical lifestyle applications or daily things that can either save me time or do whatever, yeah, definitely if that happens, yeah. But right now, I think it's more of a cool factor thing.
Man, I tell you, there's something in me, man, that there's that itch that's got to be scratched of having like the newest, coolest thing.
Oh yeah.
And I usually don't do that. I'm not that guy. But every couple of years, something will come up, and I'm like, I got to get that right when it comes out.
Yep.
And I don't know how much Google Glass is going to be. I know that they're doing development kits, and you have to be okayed by Google to get them. And even those are $1,500. So that's just a stupid amount of money that I'm not going to be able to come off into $1,500 just for something that might work kind of cool.
Right.
But if they dial it in, man, and that thing comes out, it's the right price. Your boy Gabriel might be wearing some Google glasses.
Your inner
see.
geek is going to come out, definitely.
Oh my gosh, it's going to be incredible. My wife won't want to be seen with me in public. It'll be crazy. All right.
Awesome.
So if you're into gaming at all, even if you're an Xbox guy, I think everybody knows that Sony had their press conference this last Wednesday, I believe, and obviously showed off all the new things that they're wanting to do with the PS4. They showed off the controller. They showed off a bunch of graphics stuff. They gave us a bunch of information. We're going to attempt to break some stuff down. I don't want to kick it off. Does somebody else want to kick it off? I can kick it off.
Okay, I'll kick it off. Well, first off,
you got it, Router?
Yeah, I got this. Did any of you guys actually watch most of it or watch the streaming of it? I was able to while I was still working, so I was listening to it, and then when some visual or when I heard something come up, then I'd go over and actually watch it. But
yeah, I watched all of it. I sat there and watched all of it.
Yeah, it was good, and the internet had great coverage. I mean, IGN was all over it, and a couple other places were all over it. So kudos to them for having good streaming, and it was really cool. To me, it kind of felt like an E3 press conference, and it went long. I think a lot longer than a lot of people expected.
Yeah, what was that thing, like 2.5 hours or something?
Yeah, pretty much.
It was 2. Was it 2 hours or was it 2 and a half?
It was 2 hours.
I don't know. It was long.
2 hours, 4 minutes.
I really wish I could have just sat down and watched it like normally. I was busy with work stuff, so
well, listen, you still can because I subscribe to the PlayStation YouTube channel and they have it on replay right now.
Well, I got all of the information from the show.
Yeah, exactly.
I got a little bit of the, like I got about halfway through on. So
okay, so
I mostly got gameplay basically.
Yeah. I want to do just 2 points on the downside of it first, or should we do that later?
Just hit some points.
Let's hit some points that were at the show.
Okay, DualShock 4 came out. The new controller. It's got a touchpad now. It has a speaker, so clearly there's a microphone in there. It has a share button. So using the share button, you can scroll through recent gameplay. You can capture video and then send it to your social networking. It has a Move light strip, so they're really trying to bring in the Move, which is interesting. And apparently the triggers are a lot better now, too. So that's great. Good DualShock. I think we kind of didn't expect anything too crazy out of that. Am I correct?
Yeah, I mean, it's no surprise that they added the touchpad and stuff like that. And, only time will tell how they implement it. I do really like that they put the Move in the controller.
Yeah.
I mean, it sucks because whenever you're going to go buy an extra controller, it's probably going to be some stupid amount of money. But I'm glad that they're integrating more stuff,
Yeah. No, I think I wasn't really surprised by it. It's kind of had the same design. I'm glad they kind of stuck with, what we're all used to. They didn't go too far out and reinvent the wheel. So I think a lot of it.
Yeah, I hope it's not dumb heavy too. I hope it's not crazy heavy.
Yeah, I hope not either.
When you look at the DualShock 4 and the DualShock 3 side by side, I mean, the DualShock 4 looks so much, just to me anyway, it looks, years ahead of the DualShock 3. And even then, the DualShock 3 is still a great controller. So that's just one thing I noticed was the DualShock 4 looks a little wider too. So it looks like it may
which I think is fine.
Yeah, no, it looks like it may be a lot better for shooters and stuff because you've got, your thumbs a little further apart. So,
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, to
I
me,
think
it
that
looks
was
like a comfortable controller. So, and the triggers look better, and the only thing that concerns me is the share button is right there by the D-pad. So
Yeah. Well, I'm sure in our fury, as we're hitting buttons left and right, I know I'm going to hit that share button by accident and be like, bloop.
That's what I'm kind of worried about. And I mean, as far as the share thing is concerned, didn't they say something about friends can come in and watch your game when you are sharing it?
I was going to get to that next because what they also are offering is cloud computing, and that's probably the primary reason why Sony spent a buttload of money to buy Gaikai. Because
Gaikai figured it out, man.
Yeah, oh yeah, I'm really impressed with them. They've got it nailed down, and they really want to enhance the PlayStation Network. So the benefits would be being able to play demo because it's cloud computing. They said it's the fastest cloud server that they have, and they're basically claiming that they've got the fastest out there now. So you could play basically demos of games without even downloading anything. You can spectate any friend's game, and then you can remotely go in and take over control. If somebody's like having a problem with a battle or what have you, you can actually go in and be like, here, let me do this. That's pretty freaking cool. I'll give you that.
That's crazy.
That's pretty neat. Because Hall, I'll probably be coming to you on Borderlands 2, be like, dude, what do I got to do for this one?
Nice. Borderlands 3.
I tell you. I tell you what. They did a huge just all the stuff that Router's talking about. If you didn't get to see the press conference, it might as well have been a commercial for like Facebook and social networking. Like
pretty
was so much social talk.
Yeah.
So much. It was a little crazy, and it was a little frustrating just from the other side of things. Like Router, I'm with you. I think that's cool that if you're having problems, I guess you can call a buddy and be like, "Hey, play this level," which is, I guess that's cool. But like for guys like me that continue to be on the road and game, and how we've talked about how many people still in their homes don't have high-speed internet, they're not going to be able to utilize all these features that they've poured so much money and time into. And so for me, sometimes I felt like as I was watching it and they just kept saying social, sharing, blah, 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 I was like, man, I wish they would have like put the same amount of energy into something else. I don't necessarily know what I would want them to put the energy into, but as far as the social thing, like it's cool for me, but maybe I'm in the major minority that doesn't game with other people all like that.
Well, we're a little older, so we don't have as many friends on the day-to-day that we talk to that also play games. Like if we were in high school, this would be a non-issue because we'd all be probably huge socialites. Because
right, and playing all at the same time. I mean, after school.
Well, think about how much closer kids are in high school now. Like when we were in high school, we didn't have any of that stuff. So we didn't have social networking or anything. So like nobody really kept up with each other like outside of school. Whereas nowadays, I mean, I don't know. I would love to have some junior high school students write into us about this if they listen to the show. Like if gaming is a really in-depth social experience in schools now, because like I said, when we were in schools, we didn't have social networking. We didn't even really have really good, robust online play unless you were in playing PC games. I mean, right. I can think of
had the money for internet back in the day.
Internet I can think of two friends that I would play PC games with. It's like that was it. If you wanted to play games together, like console games, it was on the couch at somebody's house. So this is just
which is still the best.
Different now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's still the best. Yeah. And you can't.
Don't get me wrong.
Well, I was going to say real quick. Sorry to interrupt.
No, I'm sorry, man.
You can't fault Sony for showing off all the social stuff because really that was the only thing that they like Xbox Live would have over PlayStation Network is the social integration.
Yeah,
a lot of people feel like the PS3 really missed the mark on that. And if you look at the comparison between the two services, you could see that that's true. The PlayStation 3, like I said, doesn't have cross-game cross-game chat, yeah. Cross-game chat doesn't have as much of the social features that Xbox Live does, so they're going to try to make up for that with the next console, for sure.
Yeah, I think they're making up for lost time. But Gabe, don't get me wrong. Like I to me, the social networking part of it was my least favorite thing because I don't do it anyway. I think we all kind of don't do that. And Hall, you raise a good point because if we were younger, I think we'd be all over it. But like I like doing single campaigns. I never do multiplayer. So to me, this was kind of a non-issue. What I loved was that Gaikai is focusing on cloud computing, and that's going to help in the long run anyway. Just because. And I'm going to bring up one of the downsides is that it is not natively backwards compatible with your PS3 games, which I think is a huge mistake. But you will be able through Gaikai and through their cloud servicing, you will be able to access those games. And I think that's kind of the Band-Aid that they put on this. But that was the one downside that I was like, well, that's just kind of stupid because we have. Go ahead.
Oh, no. Go ahead and finish your thought. Sorry.
I was just going to say, because, we still have PS3 titles, huge PS3 titles coming out this year. And, you're not going to be able to, it's not going to be available probably right away until it gets up on Gaikai's servers and that kind of stuff. So that was the one thing that I was like, oh, man, come on.
Yeah, but I think for me, the backwards compatibility thing, like it was not that big of an issue when the 360 came out, and it was included in the PS3, but look at how that did not pay off for them when they launched the PS3. Backwards compatibility paid off really not at all, whereas Xbox launched and they said, well, you'll probably be able to play games here and there, on your 360, and they were able to bring the price down because of that, and it benefited them because they were able to launch at a lower price point. So
yeah,
I mean,
that's interesting because for
mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
I was going to say I think that the PlayStation 3 or the PlayStation 4 not including backwards compatibility probably made it cheaper for them, to launch at. They could launch at $399 or whatever they're going to launch at.
I don't think I ever once sat down and was like even for you, Router, like. It's funny that you bring up that you hate that because you just started playing on the PS3.
I was just gonna say that. Yeah.
For us that played 1, 2, and 3, I didn't even find myself ever. I was so excited, and maybe because the leap was bigger, but I was so excited about PS3 games that I wasn't necessarily concerned about my PS2 anymore.
Well, and that's the thing. Like I may say that it sucks right now, but I haven't experienced this before like you guys have. So maybe like down the road, if I do get one, I'll probably be eating my words and be like, well, it doesn't matter. It's ridiculous. But yeah, just because this is the first time for me getting into a next gen console, like it seems weird that they wouldn't do it. But you know what? From a developer standpoint, I think I can understand why, because having to either report or do all those kind of things, it's basically like an operating system. And you know how Apple and Microsoft are always updating their operating systems. Well, there's a lot of stuff that's come out, and there's a lot of new technology, and there's new development that's come out. Why would you spend the time to basically work backwards just so that you can appease an older gen console or an older game? So
exactly. I mean, all it's going to do is stifle progress.
Right, exactly.
Like to make them compatible, so they need to be working on new stuff.
Exactly. So I say it now being like, oh, it's not backwards compatible. I always like to have the ability to go back if I wanted to, but you're right. I probably won't even bother because the new games are going to be so much better, and it's probably going to be a non-issue in the next probably year and a half.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think another thing too is that Sony, like their PS3 failure rate is dramatically less than the 360 failure rate, like as far as like individual consoles is concerned.
Mm-hmm.
So them not including backwards compatibility is, to me, just about a non-issue. When the PlayStation 4 comes out, it's going to be mostly PS3 owners buying it, and they already own a PS3, so they're already playing their PS3 games on a PS3. So
that's very true. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it looks like a bit of a non-issue, but who knows? Maybe it'll come out and this Gaikai thing will be so awesome that people will be like, I don't even care that it doesn't support it natively. Like, it's fine.
This raises my next point, though. Okay, if they cut costs by not making it backwards compatible, though, somebody has to pay for the cloud computing and the services through Gaikai. Do you think we're going to end
That's
up getting
true.
hit with a? You think we're going to end up getting hit with a monthly cloud service? Do you think our PlayStation Plus membership's going to go up because of it? Because somebody's got to pay for all the bandwidth.
I don't think so. I
You know?
think that PlayStation Plus will stay the same price just because you've got so many people who are gonna own a PS3 as their primary console probably for the next 3 years. So
Yeah.
I don't think the price is going anywhere. But I think that I could see them charging kind of how they do for like the full games right now. Like when you buy a full game from the store, it's $19.99 or whatever, and you pay that and you play it through cloud computing. I mean, they're probably not expecting you to play said game forever,
Right.
so you're only going to play it. Let's say you play it through one time, it's like
Yeah, it's
whatever
true.
that bandwidth was, they paid for that. They basically you paid for that by purchasing a digital license to the game. And then they have the satisfaction too of knowing that you purchased the license and you can't sell the license.
Yeah, that's very
Because
true.
they did say, that actually brings me to my next point, that they did say it will work with used games. So they shot first really with that. Like
Yeah, and I applaud them for that. I think that's
Microsoft
great.
and Sony were both thinking about preventing used games this generation. But the fact that Sony came out and said, okay, it's going to play used games, Microsoft can't come out now and say that theirs isn't. So
Oh, they'd be
pretty much-
they would be
Remember
crucified.
we talked about that. Yeah.
They would definitely be crucified.
What exactly did they say? Do you remember?
they just came out and said it will play used games. And the fact that
At the conference or later?
it looks like they said
I think there were some
okay. It
comments
looks like
afterwards too.
there was a comment afterwards, and it was from Shuhei Yoshida. So it was a translated comment.
Oh,
So,
okay.
But
okay.
I mean, all the sources are saying it won't block used games. Like all the news sites are saying it, and they would get in huge trouble if they came out later and took that comment back, I imagine. So
And you know why? That's probably because because of this cloud thing, and because they're making it such a part of the forefront. We might not be running into as many used games sitting around as we do now.
It's true.
I think that
And so they were like,
could
man,
be,
we're not even gonna have to worry about this used game thing because
Exactly.
they're gonna be downloading games. There's no way to do that anyway.
I wonder since a lot of the hard drive space in the PlayStation 3 was games that you would buy from the store, if they're going to stream a lot of that stuff,
Oh, I'm sure they
I
will.
wonder how big the hard drives are going to be in the next gen systems. Maybe they won't be that big at all.
Man, you know what's crazy? They said something in the conference that I thought was sick. He was like, yeah, he was like, gone are the day. I don't remember exactly how he put it, but it was like, gone are the days of having to download a game, then play it. He was like, but if you've only downloaded the first little bit, you can go ahead and play that first little bit,
Right.
what you've downloaded. I was like, oh, that is
No,
ridiculous.
exactly. While it's
I
still
was like,
downloading,
how cool is that?
while it's still downloading, you can be playing. Let me go through some of the
Yeah,
hard.
that's
sounds
sick.
pretty cool.
Let me go through some of the hardware specs really quick. So the CPU is a single chip custom processor, x86-64 AMD Jaguar. So it's got 8 cores, which is pretty.
Lord have mercy.
That's badass. The GPU is the GPU is 1.84 teraflops AMD next generation. Memory. This is a kicker. 8 gigs GDDR5
Yeah, buddy.
RAM. That's 15 times the amount of memory that the PS3 has right now. So I
Oh
think
my
gone are the
gosh.
days of dropped frame rates at this point, I would hope. It'll have a built-in hard disk drive, but that's the thing. The one thing they did not specify how big the hard drive is going to be. So I'll be curious how big it will be. If it's going to be kind of smaller than we think, then yeah, your theory is right that the focus is going to be more on cloud computing and being able to instantly have everything kind of streamed. It will have a Blu-ray drive. It has USB 3 and auxiliary ports. They didn't say how many though. It's got a gigabit Ethernet port, HDMI, and digital optical outputs. So that's some of the hardware. Basically, it's just going to be pimped out, and as it should be because it's been so long since the next gen has come out. So, I mean, 8 cores, that's phenomenal. That should be nice and good and nice and clean for everybody. So I'm excited about that.
That would be so awesome if somebody like hacked it and figured out how to turn it into a Mac Pro or something. That would be amazing.
That
Because
would
it's
be.
an 8-core, 8 gig machine.
Yep.
The fact that a calculator used to fill up a whole room with its inner workings just to get some calculations, and now we've got freaking 8 cores and one little chip. I mean, it's just so ridiculous.
Yeah, and then you look at these PlayStation 4 specs, and it kind of makes the PlayStation 3 look really, really old.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
going to make it look ancient. That's for sure.
One of the things I loved about the conference, and this is, and I had it with saying I understand this is naive, but did you guys ever like? I love getting wrapped up in what they're saying, and I love believing what they're saying, and I love like for gamers by developers. We went to developers and asked them this, that, and the other, and they make it sound so heartfelt, and I love just like believing that, and then I like zoom out, and I'm like, this is what happens every single time I watch like a Republican convention or a Democratic convention. I'm like, these guys really care. Oh man, they want America to blah 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 blah. Like these are businessmen and liars. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I do really feel like, and again, I know it's naive, but it did really feel like they cared. You know what I'm saying? Which is nicer sometimes than just getting a bunch of bullet points and saying it's going to be dope. You know what I'm saying? But the fact that they actually sound like they cared and things like that is what, really kind of made it a little different for me.
Look at some of their exclusive developers like Naughty Dog and those kind of people. I mean, they have to care because those guys are killing it, and they're coming out with phenomenal games. So you want to pay attention to your developers, and you would be foolish not to, basically. And the fact that they're always looking for the next developers that can give them some exclusive content, they're gonna appease the developers, as they rightfully should. I mean, these guys are the kings here, and they deserve all the credit and recognition because they're the ones that are actually making it look good.
Yep, there you go.
I think that Sony going into the PS3 generation, I think that they were so arrogant from the standpoint of we have the PlayStation 2 and it was the best-selling console, and right now I guess it pretty much is the best-selling console of all time, correct? The PS2.
I would think so. I really would.
Anyway,
right.
they went into the third generation, a little cocky and saying we're going to make something and you're going to work with it. Whereas it looks like this generation they're going in and saying we wanted to get a lot of feedback from developers. We wanted to really get engaged with people on what should we make the next console. Because realistically, yes, Sony does a lot of exclusives, and they do a lot of great exclusives. But, multi-platform games make up, 90% of the library or 80% of the library. So you want to really make sure that you've got something that you're supporting those third parties with. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
I think
Absolutely.
I think if anything, it'll be interesting to see what the Xbox does, because now they're in the position pretty much that Sony was last time as far as America is concerned, where they say, we're top dog, we got this, we're just going to put this out and you're going to develop for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Rest on their laurels a little bit.
It will be interesting to see what Microsoft does, because have they gotten a big head maybe to this point? Who knows? We could be seeing a transition just like we saw with this generation to a new superpower.
Right.
So
it's definitely on them
now.
now.
That's a great point.
They've got to come through. The pressure's on them. Any slight little inconsistency or something that that doesn't kind of follow that same mold, they may get crucified for. So they have to kind of be careful what they say and what they're coming out with. So I'm really curious now about the Microsoft press conference. So I think it'll be very interesting.
I think that at first I thought, like with Sony making the announcement first, at first I was like, I don't know if this is a good idea. This is too early, yada yada. But I think that by shooting first, I think they really gave themselves a lot of goodwill. So I think this is going to be a neck and neck generation. It's going to be pretty interesting. So
yeah,
I mean that's all the talk this week. So they mission accomplished for them. They got their publicity out. They got everything out that they wanted to get out. out of a 2 hour and 4 minute conference, which a lot of people thought was just going to be an hour, and hey, the PS4 is out, and here are the specs, and we're done. But they went way beyond that, and really got into the swing of things. So yeah, it was good for them. It's pretty cool.
What do you guys think about this remote play? I know that that Hall didn't necessarily see. They didn't really. They kind of show it, but they don't really show it. But the whole thing with the remote play is if you own a Vita, you can be on your Vita and transfer the game to your Vita, a lot like the Wii U is doing with their gamepad, except onto the Vita, and play the game away from the console, but obviously still using the console's power, but the Vita screen. And I know we talked about this before, saying that they really should do this. Is that reason enough to get a Vita?
If the price comes down.
If the price comes down and they show it off and it's working very well.
Yeah.
Like if they can sell people on the speed and the convenience and make the console like 150, it'll be well adopted.
Would you get it?
150. Nah, I'm kidding. $5.
Yeah.
No, I mean I would.
Router, would you get it?
I would get it at 150. So.
Router?
Yes. If I can take my game with me, not that I commute very much, but just the idea that I could do that, and it looks good and it's consistent and everything, and if they come down a little bit on price, yeah, I would totally.
Well, I don't know if it's take it with you necessarily, but I think it's like go downstairs.
Right. No, yeah. I mean, you're in your same area, and that's totally fine. Like, yeah, I would be all over that.
And I mean, not saying that somebody couldn't network their house and bounce IPs around and you could not be playing it from work, I guess, with a bunch of crazy lag. But the thing that I thought that was the coolest about that wasn't even necessarily that I could take it away from the television and let, Jenny watch whatever she wanted. But like those nights that like I'm in bed and I don't want the TV screen just on bothering her, or the fact that I could plug, headphones into the Vita and play without, there having to be any sound anywhere. Those were more the things that I thought would be a cooler thing coming out of that kind of situation.
Absolutely.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yep, me too.
Because I don't think there's any, unless you have like a receiver and Bluetooth headphones, I don't think there's a way to sit in my bed and have headphones on and play my PlayStation, or am I wrong?
Yeah, you'd have to have,
right.
I guess, wireless HDMI thing or something. You shoot it to another TV,
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's clunky.
Yeah.
I can almost guarantee you that they're using. Basically, you're connecting to the same network that your PlayStation is on, and therefore it's streaming like just like you would if you're streaming videos off of a network storage.
Exactly.
I mean, it's instantaneous and it looks great, and it's buffered in real time and all that stuff. So I think that they're as long as they work out the kinks in that technology, I'm sure they'll be fine with it.
And the Vita, I feel like, is sexier than that Wii U gamepad.
Yeah, I think so too.
Well, I think everything's sexier than something. I was going to say, I think everything's sexier than the Wii U. So,
but the Vita is, I mean, I think we've all held the Vita, and I don't know, but I know I've definitely held the Wii U gamepad, and I'm like, but the Vita is made for your hands. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So to take that away and be able to play a whole game on that, I'm not mad at that at all.
Not at all.
Do you think they'd launch a Vita 2000 or basically a second version of the Vita, kind of like they did with the PSP?
They've got to.
Maybe something that's a little more ergonomic. They bring the price down by cutting down some of the.
No, I think they'll just redesign the Vita.
Yeah, as long as they make it the same specs, it'll play all the current Vita games. Maybe they make a digital only Vita because they expect people to be doing remote play.
There was no shot of the console. Not a huge surprise this early on that we didn't get to see the console. But I still was a little bummed.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it doesn't really matter because it's just a box that sits under my TV. So I don't really care what it looks like.
Yeah, but you kind of want to know what it looks like. It would have been nice to see it.
It's
That'd
probably
be funny
like
if it was just a picture of a PC tower. Like,
Yeah.
here's your PS4.
An Alienware computer.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
exactly.
picture it. I picture it like a surgery. Like there's just this glob of wires and like some hardware, and there's just wires going everywhere because they're still testing everything out, and it's just like this weird thing. But yeah, that'd be. I wasn't too bummed that we didn't get to see it. I'm sure they're gonna try and make it sexy and put some packaging around it and call it.
They should have made it like a super geeky liquid cooled PC tower with a giant 4 on the side.
There you go.
Like, here you go.
Please don't do that. So,
No.
The last thing I got before we get into some of these the launch releases, I felt like there was a lot of, and Hall, I know you didn't watch it, but Router, tell me if you feel like this. There was a lot of possible talk, like in the sense of, and this will like, not like, and this will be what you'll see when the PS4 comes out, but it was like, this is what some of the games will be able to look like
Yes.
once the PlayStation 4 is out. Like it wasn't felt like at launch day games are going to look like this, but it felt like maybe a year after launch day, this is what games are going to look like. Did it feel like that to you at all?
I think that,
Well,
that
I
because
mean,
the engine.
we're gonna. Oh, go ahead, Tim.
I was just gonna say, I think because the new engines are still being developed, that they can't promise anything yet.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, there's a couple new engines that are going to be coming out specifically for this, and I'm sure they're still testing everything out. I mean, it's hard to probably get all those pieces put together so quickly. So I think they were smart. The way that they said it, they were smart in that you will be able to. It doesn't necessarily mean that you will. You know, that's going to be set in stone. So the idea, as long as the ideas are there, the developers and those who create the engine will at least have a roadmap for it. So that's good.
Yeah. Hall, what were you going to say?
Well, this is different than all of the other generations because, well, I mean, I could be saying this now just because we're at this point of time, but to me, this feels different than most other generations because we're going into something where the games already look like closer to the way we wanted them to look, if that makes sense. Like
Of course.
the PS3 and the Xbox 360 are to the point now where graphically things still look great to us still. You know, with the earlier generations, like you look at the PS2, we were like, man, it looks all right. You know, it's looking really good. It's looking better, but it still could look a lot better.
Right.
We're to the point now where, with like I said, the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360, we're still amazed by the stuff that comes out with these consoles. So we're, like looking at the PlayStation 4, what I see is more real-time stuff going on in the environments, probably a little bit better physics, better frame rate for sure.
Yeah.
So I think with these launch games, are going to be some of the best, like when the ones that come up for the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox 4 or whatever you want to call it, the next one. They're going to be pretty decent launch games because I think that the developers going into this, really what they need to impress people with is a better frame rate and just more real-time stuff going on.
Right.
I think that's the main things. I mean, did you see the footage of they took Killzone, the new Killzone game to what was that show? Jimmy Fallon?
Yes.
Oh yeah, Shadowfall.
Yeah, exactly.
Shadowfall,
I mean, it looks really good. It looks really, really good, but it looks like it plays just like a typical Killzone game. The only thing that's different is just graphically. So
yeah, and seeing how alive everything was outside of what you were doing.
Exactly. So I think that's what people are going to be looking for at the beginning. So I think launch games are going to be great this generation. I think that's all they have to deliver. They know how to make games that play good. I mean, think about how many games that come out nowadays that are AAA titles because the risk is so high nowadays with games.
Right.
So many games come out and they're like, we got to make this game good. We can't just throw a turd out there.
Right.
So many games come out and they're rated well because basically the company said we're putting enough money into this. This game's got to be good. So I think that with the launch titles, like I said, I think we're going to see the same thing.
Does anybody have the list of launch titles?
I've got a list of people working right now. Let me see. Where did I have that at?
I have some. Ooh, we got to see Watch Dogs.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
That thing look awesome. So is that not going to be on PS3 or is that going to be on PS3 and PS4?
I could
think
see
it's-
it being something where it's PlayStation 4 and then ported down, or PS3 and ported up.
I think so. I think you're
Mm.
right. Actually, I thought I read something about it that it's going to be for both.
Gotcha.
Well, I've got a list of
'cause we need to-
developers working right now with the PlayStation 4. I mean, obviously, you've got Bethesda, Capcom, EA, Sega. Let's see here. I mean, all Ubisoft, all the major players are developing right now. I don't even know why they made this article. I mean, it's a given. We talk about console sales and stuff, and the reality is that in North America, the PlayStation 3 doesn't sell as much as the 360, but worldwide, I mean, they come a lot closer worldwide. So every developer is going to be working on the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox next box. So I don't even know what to call that thing yet.
The next box 720. I like it. That's good.
I honestly predict that they're just going to call it the Xbox 4. Because remember when the iPhone came out, the first one was the iPhone, I guess they just called it like the iPhone 2G, technically. Because it was only 2G internet. I mean, I don't even think they called it that. I think they just called it the iPhone. And then the iPhone 3G came out. And then the next one that came out was just the 4, even though it was only the third phone. So, because the Xbox, the reason that the Xbox came out and called it the 360 with the last gen was because they didn't want to be a number behind. So, it would have been the PS3 and the Xbox 2. The PS3 would have looked like the superior console because of the numbering. So, that's why they came out with the Xbox 360 so they could have the same number in line. That's why that's why I think they may just go Xbox 4. To be honest,
They might. Yeah, I'll be curious.
Man, that would be really weird.
Well, I mean, Apple did it and nobody shook their fists. So
It's because they're Apple.
yeah,
Very
but
true.
I mean, you got to think Microsoft's, as far as their Xbox division is concerned, in the eyes of a lot of people, they could probably do no wrong at this point. So
Yeah, that's probably true. Hall, did you have anything else?
man, I have talked way too much today already, so I'm done.
Router?
I'm good. Just appreciate all of our Twitterings going on. I think that's always fun to get great responses from all of our followers. So we appreciate you as always.
Yes, of course. Oh, real quickly before I get into the shout out and the question of the week. People are saying $430-ish, $530-ish, $100 for the PS4. I tell you what, Sony, if anybody knows Mr. and Mrs. Sony, if y'all put this thing out at $299, it will go bananas.
Oh, yeah. But they're already losing money.
Bananas.
I think at the price point that you just said, though, they're probably already losing money.
Nah, man.
They're not going to be able to recruit. But I'm with you, dude. Hey, do it in volume.
Man. They can make them things cheap. They can make those things cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah, they pretty much can.
Put together
mean,
that same
you look
computer.
at modern PCs, man, and don't most of them come with 4 gigs of RAM and they're $300?
Yep.
Yes, that's what I'm saying, and that's with casing and
we're
all
close.
this business, and they're throwing monitors in there just cause, keyboards, all this wasted plastic. Dude, I'm telling you, they could probably make that thing for $100-something,
Probably.
if not a little less than that.
Well,
And
I
if they
would
sold
say
it for $300, they'd kill it.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. $299, I wish. The only thing is that they have to wait for the Wii U to drop, because if they bring it out at $299, people will be like, well, isn't this just like the Wii U? Maybe. I hope not.
Nobody says that.
Yeah, actually,
Yeah, I
you
don't
know
think-
what? I'm wrong. Just completely disregard that statement.
Nobody's comparing the PlayStation 4 to the Wii U.
Yeah, I think that's
I honestly think it's going to be $399.
Yeah.
No, I think it will be too.
I think it
which
will
will
be.
still be a really great price.
Yeah.
But if it starts dipping into the 450s and the 550s for a bigger hard drive, That's gonna be a little stretch for me. honestly.
Even the 429, it's just like the stinking iPad Mini thing that we talked about. Like, why
Right.
is it 329? There's no reason.
Right.
You know, no
I'll
429.
tell you what, but
no,
if that thing's even
399.
350, if it's even 350, man, it'll be hard for me not to go out and get that thing day one.
Same.
Oh,
Same here.
yeah, I agree.
Sony, you listening? 350. You still give me that's $50 more than I even said, and I'll still go get that, John. Day one. I'll trample somebody.
351. That's $1 more than Gabe's going to buy it for. I'll still buy it.
What is this? The price is right all of a sudden?
351.
All right.
Do-do-do. Sorry, I had the Family Feud
So-
music in my head.
Yep.
That's hilarious. Shout out of the week goes to a little lady named Sarah Placencia. You might recognize the last names because it's Ed's wife. She put on my Facebook a couple days ago, "You'd be proud of me. I played Far Cry 3 until 3 a.m. in the morning."
Yes.
And I was like, that's a freaking girl that's representing right there. So I had to give her a shout out
That is awesome.
for this week. Far Cry 3 representing until the early hours in the morning. And with that comes my question of the week. What games, and I'm going to start with Hall because I think Hall will actually have an answer. Is there a game that you can get your wife into that she would play till 3 a.m. in the morning? And if so, what is it? Is your wife a gamer? I don't even know.
Mario Party.
Mario Party.
Yep.
Would she play it by herself, though?
No. It would just be with me, probably.
Okay. Mario Party. She'll play with you till 3 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Router.
Yeah, I mean, and we did for a little while when we had the Wii. Mario Kart, man, she loved that game.
Did she like Mario? Oh, okay. I didn't know she liked it that much.
Yeah, no, she really liked that game, but she's just not a video game person at all, as most women aren't. So that's fine. But
Right.
But yeah, that would be the game of choice for her.
Okay. See, this is very interesting. We're about to all say Wii games.
Yep.
Because for my wife, it's Dr. Mario, and she would play that by herself till 3 o'clock in the morning. She loves that game, but I do not see. Do you guys see your wives ever stepping into something like Far Cry 3? That's a big leap from Mario Party and Mario Kart and Dr. Mario.
Yeah.
And by the way, they all had Mario in the title. I'm just saying.
Yep.
If they made
No, I'm
an
with you.
open world first person Mario game where you shoot people with shells and drive Mario Karts, I think we'd be fine.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So just to mix all three of them.
Exactly. If it was Far Cry Mushroom Kingdom, I
Mario.
think we'd be fine.
Yeah.
Far Cry Mushroom Kingdom.
That's awesome.
Yeah, because
Oh, that's
everybody
hilarious.
gets into Mario. I mean, it doesn't matter who you are, young, old, male, female,
It's kind of like Mickey.
animal.
It's kind of like Mickey Mouse. We were talking about Mickey Mouse. This is way off topic, but we were talking about Mickey Mouse earlier, and we were like, why do we love Mickey Mouse? Because number one, I couldn't name you not one movie he's been in, but besides like the whatever that symphony thing was that they
Fantasia.
brought out.
Fantasia.
Like I can't name a movie. Like I know he was Steamboat Willie back when he first started, but like, did he have a weekly cartoon or anything that why do I love Mickey so much?
Mickey Mouse Club, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was even really I didn't even watch that.
Yeah, I didn't either, but yeah, I don't know. It's just I think it
Doesn't make any
because
sense.
it's the brand. That's where it all started, and that's what you are always reminded of.
There's something about those M names, man. I'm telling you, Mario, Mickey, Married to the Game.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
just saying, I feel like we're on the right track here. Is what I'm feeling
That's
like.
right.
Yeah.
Well, y'all write in and tell us what games your wives are playing, or your girlfriends, or if you think you could get them into one. Maybe we can come up with some kind of perfect game to get these girls into really gaming, and we'll be one big happy no house cleaning family.
That's right.
Nice.
Because if my wife starts playing video games and she's not cracking the whip on me to pick up after myself, the house ain't getting picked up. If she's like, hey, you know what we should do tonight is play some Far Cry. If she pulled the Sarah Placencia on us, we would get nothing done around it. My wife runs the household. If she's not there, it's not getting run.
I think like plates would drop, glasses would drop, and we would run upstairs. If Lauren ever said that, hey, let's go play done, let's go. Just
you guys would have triplets.
We don't have to eat. Let's go. Come on. Laundry, dishes, screw it. Let's go.
Piper would be downstairs like, poopy. So much poopy.
Exactly. She'd be like, hello.
All right, man. Well, we're going to get up out of here. We are sorry again that we are so late. Thank you for sticking with us. You know where to find us. Facebook.com/Married to the Games. Twitter.com/MTTGcast. We've been talking to y'all on there. Thank you for hollering at us. We're hollering back at y'all. I'm Gabe Patillo. For Timothy Hall, for Tim Browder, it's still Black History Month for a little bit longer, y'all. We about this thing. Peace.